A survey found that nearly 50% of adults reported being afraid of the dark or feeling uneasy in the dark. That's a lot of people. But when the question, "Are you afraid of death?" is asked, many hands go up. Why? Well, death can cause someone to lie awake at night, terrified. Why? Because death is unknown. The thought of death makes many sweat bullets. Why? Maybe they have unfinished business, like regrets that play in the back of their minds, things that they should have done. Or maybe they wonder what in the world happens after death. As humans, we all know we're going to die, yet we never seem to fully accept it. So how does the dark and death go hand in hand? Well, imagine back when you were young. You were probably scared of the dark at some point in your life. Maybe you would shut off the lights, run up the stairs, and close your door quickly. Or maybe you left on lights while you slept because you thought a monster would be under your bed. Now, these things might seem silly or funny today, but back then it was a crippling fear. Why? Because the dark brings uncertainty, fear, and a feeling of being alone. This past week, I was hiking on some trails, and 2 of them led through caves. As I walked into the mouth of one cave, I had my light ready to go. I was shocked by how massive the cave was, and how dark it truly felt. It was a really big cave with many tunnels. As I explored, I could not see anything except for the mouth of the cave, and the little flashlight on my phone that helped illuminate my path. At one point, I turned off the light just to see how dark it really was. Pitch black. Nothingness. Just the droplets of water that pitter-pattered next to me. If I'm honest, this experience made me think a lot. Historically, caves have been looked at as a safe haven, a place where people could rest, live, or gather, especially those needing refuge. From a biblical perspective, caves served many purposes, as hiding places, homes, or temporary shelters. For example, David hid in caves to escape from Saul. Some of the Psalms, like Psalms 57 and Psalms 142, were written during these times of hiding. Elijah also used caves as a place to hide from Jezebel and to gather his followers. Caves may have been significant in the life of Jesus. Some biblical interpretations suggest that he may have been born in a cave or a stable, but some biblical contexts give the impressions of a cave. Later, caves were associated with burial places. In John chapter 11, Lazarus was laid in a tomb that could have been thought of as a cave, and Jesus raised him from the dead. Similarly, Jesus resurrected from the tomb, described in John 20, 1-10, and that also took place in a burial site that resembled a cave. When looking at world history, caves have also come in handy by protecting people from rain or bad weather, or a place where people could just sleep. Some fun facts about caves according to Google. Ancient uses. Ancient Egyptians and Romans used caves as natural cellars for wine and food, because they're consistent, cool temperatures, a tradition still used today. Protection. Caves also helped secure sensitive documents and other important items from sunlight, theft, and preying eyes. Historical shelter. In London, some caves were transformed into a vast underground city, with lighting, sanitation, and even a chapel sheltered thousands during the Blitz. Modern habitation. In Cappadocia, Turkey, and Italy, some people still live in cave dwellings today. Natural wonder. Son Doong Cave in Vietnam is the world's largest cave, supporting its own ecosystem, environmental preservation. Wind Cave in USA was protected as the world's first cave national park, showcasing its unique formations and a prairie above, highlighting early environmental protection efforts. Throughout history and the scriptures, caves have represented refuge and protection. So if they're so familiar to us, why are we still so scared of what is in the cave? What is that? That's darkness. In the Bible, darkness is associated with fear, evil, or judgment. The simple fact is, darkness brings an uneasy feeling to us because we don't have control over it. Or do we? See, when you walk into a pitch black room, imagine this room being so dark that you can't even see your hand that is less than a foot away from your face. And you take a box of matches out and light just one single match. What happens? Immediately, that little light dispels some of the darkness around you. That's what happens when light comes in contact with darkness. Darkness has to flee from this tiny light. Why? Because light was created to dispel darkness. But this idea has a deeper meaning than just turning on a light. What I mean by this is we were created to be surrounded by light. Who is that light? That light is Jesus. See, when light and dark are in each other's presence, one automatically wins every time. Which one is that? The light. Light brings warmth, comfort, peace, and most of all, a knowing that there is nothing to fear. Darkness brings fear, death, uneasy feelings, unknowing, and most of all, darkness makes you feel utterly alone. Jesus says in John 8:12, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Imagine a row of matches, perfectly lined up, say 5 matches in a row. You light the first one, and the fire naturally spreads from match to match, burning all 5. But now imagine one match that has been moved out of the line, sitting a little apart from the others. When the fire reaches it, it doesn't catch, it stops. That one match doesn't burn because it was removed from the path of the fire. That's what happens in our lives when we remove ourselves from situations, people, or influences that cause us to stumble or struggle. Just like that match, when we step out of harmful paths, that stops the fire from spreading and protects us from destruction. We were created to be in the presence of God, and God is holy, and that means he's apart from sin. So that means that Jesus is holy as well. Jesus encompasses everything that brings light. He is the light of the world. As stated above, everyone who follows him will never have to walk in darkness again, because he will be with them. We also see in Romans 13:12, it says, "The night is nearly over, the day is almost here, so let us put aside the deeds of darkness and put on the armor of light." And in 1 John 1-5, it says, "God is light, in him there is no darkness at all." These verses are just a few of many that help us understand the character of God. He is with us no matter what, and he will illuminate even the darkest situations if we ask him to. Meeting Jesus is like turning on a match in a pitch-black room. The light doesn't just illuminate a little, it displaces the darkness completely. So when you ask Jesus to come into your life, something changes. Your life is automatically different in the sense that you're no longer living in darkness anymore. A light switch has been turned on. Jesus takes fear, sin, regret, and grief and makes us whole again. Am I saying we won't have trials or tribulations and we'll no longer slip into darkness from time to time? No. I am saying that we have a promise that Jesus will be with us. He will be our powerful light, illuminating the path that we should take. He promises to protect us and keep us safe. He replaces fear with peace, sin with redemption, regret with fulfillment, and grief with wholeness. The invitation is on your doorstep. Are you going to continue to live in darkness, sweat bullets at night thinking about death, and giving in to what Satan desperately wants you to feel, the feeling of being utterly alone? Are you going to choose to have your dark room illuminated by the only light that can truly dispel darkness? The choice is yours. Invite him in or spend eternity regretting it. Darkness is real, but so is light, and light always wins.